Hi, I'm Chef Keith Snow. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make ratatouille, which is a very classic dish to central and southern France. In the region that it grows in, it's got very arid climate, a lot of limestone, it's very dry. As you descend from Burgundy, you start to go downhill into the Provence region. It becomes very arid and dry, and these vegetables grow fabulous there. In my own garden out back, we have zucchini, we have tomatoes, we have squash. Everything is coming like mad because it's harvest season. In fact, these were just picked this morning. So all of these fresh ingredients go into ratatouille, and that's what makes it special. I don't advise using stuff that isn't top quality. I would suggest maybe a farmer's market, or if you're lucky enough to grow your own, and maybe the grocery store would be your last resort, but fresh, fresh, fresh when you make this. Now, classically, it's made with several ingredients: eggplant, zucchini, bell peppers. You see some differing recipes, and depending upon the region in Provence, everybody will have their own ratatouille. This is my version. It's a lovely stewed dish, but it's not soupy. In the end, the product that you'll have, I'll show you when we complete it, it's a vegetable stew, but it's kind of dry. It's not, it's nothing that you could eat with a spoon, so it's very thick. It's great for tossing later, maybe on top of some rice. You could toss it in pasta. Another great use is to use it in between sheets of lasagna. So it's a very classic dish. I'm going to show you how to make it right now. The first thing we're going to do is chop up this eggplant. And oftentimes you'll see them talk about salting eggplant in recipes. I don't really do that. I like to just chop it and use it. Nice and easy. And we're looking for chunks that are probably 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch thick. Remember, these will cook down as they sit in that pot for a while. So we'll just get these in there. I already have bell pepper that's diced up. That's 1/2 cup of red bell pepper. Here is some just plain white onion, again 1/2 cup. And here is a full cup of diced zucchini, and we're going to also cut up this one because we need a little more. Very simple to make this recipe. It takes a little time though. It's not something you can make in 10 minutes. It needs at least 35, even 50 minutes, depending upon how rich your vegetables are. Are they loaded with water or not? So it's not a very quick dish, but it's very satisfying. So this zucchini is super fresh. We'll cut it in half. And then we'll cut it in half again, and then we'll make sort of a large dice. We'll get this into our bowl as well. And this is a great recipe also to serve alongside of grilled fish or chicken or even pork. Fresh basil, we're going to add that at the very end. Right here is rosemary, right out of my own garden, and thyme. There's 2 tablespoons each. They need to be chopped a little finer than they are, so we'll simply run our chef's knife through them. And these are the things that really give this ratatouille a fabulous flavor. And this dish happens to be one of my favorite recipes. My mother's been making it for years, although she's Italian. It's a great dish. One of the other ingredients you'll often see is summer squash or yellow squash. Again, nothing fancy. You just want to cut it up into little chunks or little dice. It's going to cook down in the pot. And then 2 of the other most important ingredients are fresh tomatoes, and our garden is overflowing right now with juicy fresh tomatoes. This is 2 medium-sized tomatoes. It's about 2 cups, give or take. And we're going to take that and dump it right into the bowl. And our last ingredient is 2 cloves of minced garlic. That's optional, but I believe it adds to it. And then you need extra virgin olive oil, and that needs to be a very good quality. You don't want to use a cheap oil. So here we're going to take all of our stuff, get it into this bowl, and now we need to go to the stove and start cooking. Okay, now that we're at our stove, it's time to cook our ratatouille. The first step is to take a very good quality extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to stress this again, use good oil. This dish is really about the flavors of that nice extra virgin olive oil. We're making this in a French pot today to really pay tribute and homage to the French tradition. So we're going to put in here 4 tablespoons roughly of extra virgin olive oil. We will take all of the ingredients here and dump them into the bowl. Into the pot rather. And now that this is in here, we want to season it with some kosher salt and black pepper. And what we want to do is do a quick saute on it. We've got about a medium-high heat. And this is a good heavy cast iron pan, so it conducts heat very beautifully. We will give this a little saute. I'm actually going to add just a touch more of our extra virgin olive oil. Because there's eggplant in there, the eggplant tend to soak up a little of the oil. So once we have it going like this, we have some seasoning in there. We'll put the top on it, just like this. We'll turn the heat down to low, and we'll let this stew in here for 25 to 30 minutes, and then I will remove the top and allow for some evaporation. That way our stew can sort of dry out a bit and become nice and chunky. I'll show you that in just a few minutes. Our ratatouille is now done. It cooked total for 35 minutes, and as you can see, it's become somewhat dry. It's not soupy at all. It's a nice thick dish. And the last thing we're going to do before we serve it is take some fresh basil that we have here, and we're adding this right at the last minute because we want a lot of that basil punch. So we're just going to kind of slice this into ribbons, also called chiffonade. Take a good handful, mix it into our ratatouille, and the heat from the vegetables will bring out all the flavor that we need in the basil. So now we'll plate this up, and I'll show you how beautiful it looks on a nice white plate. And like I said, you can see that this is not running all over the plate. There's not a bunch of liquid. If there's a lot of liquid, that means that you haven't cooked it long enough. And this is great served as an accompaniment, like I said earlier, to any kind of grilled fish, meat, pork. Also fabulous with pasta. I would serve this absolutely with a nice French Pinot Noir, and you'd have a delicious, beautiful, seasonal summer dish. Try this recipe today. I know you're going to love it.
HarvestEating.com, the only social network website on the internet dedicated to seasonal, local, and organic foods. View hundreds of recipe instruction videos hosted by Chef Keith Snow, a nationally recognized expert in seasonal cooking. All it takes is an email address to join now for free. We welcome you into the Harvest Eating community. Start living healthier today.